Trauma bonding is a psychological attachment that forms in relationships where harm and care are mixed in an unpredictable way. Trauma bonding develops when the same person who triggers fear or distress also provides intermittent comfort, which trains the brain to associate relief with connection. In practical terms, this often looks like emotional whiplash. A period of tension builds, there's a conflict or incident, and then the relationship suddenly shifts into apology, affection, or reassurance. That shift matters because the nervous system doesn't only track what happened, it tracks what happened next. When intense stress is followed by warmth, the warmth can feel unusually powerful, not because it's healthy, but because it arrives after the body has been pushed into survival mode. From the outside, it can seem obvious that the harmful behavior should end the relationship. From the inside, the pattern can create a loop where the person becomes both the source of instability and the primary source of relief. Over time, the relationship can start to feel necessary for emotional regulation, especially if the person is isolated, depleted, or constantly trying to prevent the next conflict. This is not about intelligence or willpower. It's about conditioning, repeated cycles that strengthen attachment through unpredictability, stress, and temporary repair. Trauma bonding refers to a strong emotional attachment to someone who repeatedly causes harm while also providing intermittent care, affection, or relief. It is most likely to form when there is a power imbalance, emotional, financial, social, or physical, and when the person experiencing harm has limited stability, support, or perceived options. What makes it distinct is the pairing of threat and comfort inside the same relationship. The harm creates stress and uncertainty. The intermittent kindness reduces that stress. Over time, the nervous system can begin to associate the person with relief, even if they are also the source of the pain. That association doesn't happen because the relationship is healthy. It happens because the brain is trying to regulate danger, using whatever moments of safety it can access. Trauma bonds often form through repeated cycles. Tension builds, a harmful event occurs. Then there is repair. Apologies, affection, promises, vulnerability, or blame shifting followed by warmth. Each repair can reset hope and delay exit, especially when the person believes change is finally happening. Certain people are more vulnerable due to context, not weakness. Isolation, chronic stress, financial dependence, immigration or housing insecurity, past attachment wounds, high empathy, and a strong tendency to self-blame or fix situations. If love was historically linked with unpredictability, care mixed with criticism or abandonment, this pattern can feel familiar and oddly compelling. Importantly, trauma bonding is not a moral failing. It is a predictable outcome of repeated learning. When the brain is repeatedly exposed to harm, then rewarded with temporary closeness, attachment can strengthen instead of weakening. A core mechanism behind trauma bonding is intermittent reinforcement, rewards delivered unpredictably. In behavioral psychology, this pattern is known to create persistent, hard-to-break habits because the brain learns that the next reward could happen at any time, so it keeps trying. In a relationship, the reward might be affection, attention, calm conversation, sexual intimacy, gifts, or reassurance. The problem is not that these things exist, it's that they appear inconsistently, often after periods of distress. When kindness is predictable, it tends to feel steady. When kindness is rare or uncertain, it can feel urgent, valuable, and intensely relieving. This is similar to how slot machines keep people playing. Most attempts don't pay off, but occasional wins create a powerful learning loop. In trauma bonding, the loop often sounds like, I just need to say it the right way. If I stay calm, they won't explode. Or, they're stressed. When life settles down, they'll go back to how they were. The person starts adjusting their behavior to increase the chances of getting the good version of their partner. Over time, the relationship becomes organized around anticipation and monitoring, reading moods, avoiding triggers, trying to earn peace. The unpredictability increases focus, obsession, and hope, even as the overall experience becomes more destabilizing. Trauma bonding is not only cognitive, it is also physiological. When a relationship includes repeated threat, yelling, rejection, intimidation, accusations, silent treatment, or sudden withdrawal, the body can shift into a stress state. This often involves heightened arousal, faster heart rate, muscle tension, shallow breathing, difficulty sleeping, and constant scanning for cues that something is about to go wrong. In that state, the nervous system prioritizes safety and predictability. If the same person who triggers the stress then offers reassurance, softness, affection, remorse, closeness, the body experiences a rapid drop in threat. That drop can feel intensely soothing. The relief is real, and it can be misread as proof that the connection is special because the contrast is so strong. This is one reason trauma bonding can feel addictive. The brain starts to chase regulation, not necessarily the relationship itself, but the moment when anxiety stops. When the relationship repeatedly pushes the nervous system into distress and then briefly resolves it, the body can learn to depend on the partner for emotional stabilization. Over time, this dynamic can narrow someone's sense of reality. Calm may feel unfamiliar, even uncomfortable, because their baseline has become tension. Consistency can be mistaken for boredom, while intensity is mistaken for love, even though the intensity is largely driven by stress and relief. In many trauma-bonded relationships, the attachment is strengthened by a repeating cycle rather than a single event. A common pattern looks like this. Tension builds, a harmful incident occurs, then reconciliation follows, and finally a short period of calm appears before tension returns. The details vary, but the structure is consistent: instability, followed by repair. For a lot of people, the tension phase is the part that quietly takes over daily life. You start noticing tiny signals: a shorter text, a sigh, a certain look, the way they close a door. You become careful with your tone. You rehearse sentences in your head. You try to keep the peace by staying small, because you've learned that one wrong word can flip the atmosphere in seconds. Then the incident happens. It might be an explosion, a cold shutdown, a threat, a betrayal, or a cutting comment that lands and doesn't leave. And right after that, the relationship pivots into repair. The apology is intense. The affection comes back. They sound self-aware. They say the right things. In that moment, your body wants to believe it, because believing it is the fastest way out of the stress. This stage also reactivates hope. Hope is not irrational here. It is being reinforced. If someone occasionally shows warmth and remorse, the brain updates the story to change is possible. That belief can keep a person invested, especially when they have already sacrificed time, identity, or resources to the relationship. Over time, the person may start living inside the cycle. They focus on preventing the next incident and earning the next calm period. They may reduce conflict, hide needs, and abandon boundaries, not because they agree with the harm, but because the relationship has trained them that stability is conditional. One reason trauma bonding is so confusing is that it doesn't just trap your feelings, it traps your thinking. People often describe a split reality. Part of you can list the red flags clearly, but another part of you keeps arguing the case for them. Not because you're naive, but because your brain is trying to reduce psychological pain. A lot of people stay stuck because the relationship isn't experienced as all bad. It's experienced as a story with highlights, moments of intimacy, softness, and being deeply seen, interrupted by moments that feel unbearable. That mix makes the bond easy to romanticize. The mind starts treating the good moments like the real relationship, and the harm like a distortion. If we could just get back to that version, everything would be okay. There's also a powerful meaning-making trap. When something costs you a lot, time, tears, dignity, your brain wants the cost to mean something. It's hard to accept that you suffered for someone who won't change, so the mind reaches for narratives that justify endurance. We're soulmates. This is complicated love. They're wounded, not cruel. I'm the one person who can reach them. Add hope to that, and you get persistence. Each apology feels like evidence. Each calm week feels like progress. And walking away starts to feel like throwing away the only proof that it wasn't all for nothing. Then there's selective memory. After a calm or affectionate moment, the brain naturally highlights the good version of them, because that version helps you survive the relationship. The bad moments start to feel unreal or exaggerated, until the next incident happens and you're right back in the same place, asking yourself how you got here again. For many people in a trauma bond, leaving doesn't feel like a clean decision. It can feel like panic. The body has adapted to a relationship where emotional regulation depends on the other person's reactions. So separation can trigger symptoms that look a lot like withdrawal. Intrusive thoughts, cravings to reach out, anxiety spikes, sleep disruption, nausea, shaking, or a constant urge to fix it. This is also where people get pulled back in by the memory of relief. You don't only miss the person, you miss the moment when the tension finally stopped. You miss the version of you who could breathe again, even if it only lasted a day. And when you're alone with the discomfort, your brain may start bargaining. Maybe I overreacted. Maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe if I just explain it differently, we can get back to normal. On top of that, many people leave with their identity shaken. If you've spent months or years adapting, staying quiet, shrinking needs, trying to be enough, you can feel strangely empty without the relationship to organize your day around. That emptiness can be misread as love, when it's often your nervous system recalibrating. Breaking a trauma bond often begins when you separate what you know from what your nervous system has been trained to do. The patterns can be clear. On paper, you can name the cycle, list the incidents, even predict what comes next. Yet, your body still reacts as if returning is the safest option. That doesn't mean you're in denial. It means a lot of the attachment is running on unconscious learning, stress, relief, and intermittent reward, wired together beneath awareness. What helps is making the unconscious pattern conscious and repetitive. Document the cycle, use reality anchors, and build structure, support, therapy if possible, and safety planning. With distance and consistency, the bond weakens, and peace starts to feel normal again.